So we're in Pensacola. We knock out Tony Tubbs, and we're upstairs afterwards in the little tiny dressing room, really like small like this area here. And we're in this little dressing room, and knock on the door. It's the Florida State Athletic Commission, and the guy goes, "I need a urine sample." Well, my fighters would not pass that test.
Yeah.
So I tell the guy, I say, Lionel, I says, we have a problem. And the guy says, what do you mean? The commissioner. I go, well, my boxer, he can't pee in front of anybody. If he doesn't know the people, he can't pee. So you got to step outside while he pees.
Nice, good thinking, yeah.
And the guy looks at me and he goes, he goes, he's got to pee right in this thing. I go, yeah, I understand, but he's having trouble. And Lionel goes, yeah, I can't pee. And so then Lionel goes out. And so I'm standing there with Joe Goosen, who doesn't know at this point that Lionel has a drug problem. Joe is Lionel's trainer. Okay. Yeah. Joe's in the fucking Hall of Fame, Boxing Hall of Fame. He's a famous trainer. He's a real deal fucking trainer. Still training. I saw him in a fight the other night.
Oh, wow.
No, he's a real deal. Okay. Lifelong trainer. But he doesn't know that Lionel's on drugs. So I turned to Joe, the boxing commissioner's out of the room. I go, Joe, we have a problem. Lionel has a little drug problem here, and he's not going to be able to pass the test. I says, will you pee in this cup, please? And he goes, why don't you pee in it? And I go, I'm a musician.
Right.
And he started to get he gets a laugh on his face, So I can tell this story because Dan Goosen is dead. And so... So I go, well, yeah, I'll explain this all to you later because this is the first those guys have heard about this. This is the first Joe has ever heard about Lionel having a drug problem.
Yeah.
We've been hiding it,
Yeah.
and because I don't know what to do.
Right.
So, fuck. So Lionel... How to explain this? Oh, so I open the door and the commissioner's there, and he goes, "Look," I go, "We're having a trouble. He can't pee." I go, "We're having a trouble. He can't pee." I go, "Let me go downstairs and talk to the promoter." I go, "We're having a trouble. He can't pee." And the guy goes, so the commissioner looks at me and goes, "Look, I don't care who pees in the fucking cup." He goes, "I need pee." He looks right at me and tells me that the Florida Athletic Commissioner. And so I go, give me 1 minute. So I run down in the audience, the audience is all there because we weren't the main event. I run down in the audience and Dan Goosen's sitting there with somebody in the audience. He's a promoter and he's sitting there. It's not the biggest fight, but here we are down in Florida fighting. So I go up to Dan, I go, "Hey, Dan." And Dan doesn't know anything about it, anything. I go, "Dan, I got a problem." I go, "I need your help." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I need you to come upstairs and pee in this for Lionel. Lionel can't pee." He says, "What do you mean he can't pee?" I go, "Well, I'll explain it later." I go, and I can't pee either because I smoke pot. And I go, and I says, "Will you come upstairs for a minute? Just come upstairs for a minute." I says, "The boxing commissioner's there." I go, "You got to come upstairs with me, please." And so he goes, "Okay." So we go upstairs, and then somehow Dan goes in there and pees in the cup, and so I can tell the story now because Dan's dead. And Joe, I hope Joe forgives me for telling this story, but it's a good story, and Joe is an honorable guy, as he always is. And he was a good guy.
So Dan went and pissed in the cup somewhere.
Yeah, and I gave it to the boxing commissioner, and that's the end of the story. Thank you. Thank you for getting me to the point. Yeah, that's what happened. So that's the story. So now they know their fighter has got a drug problem. Okay.
Yeah, I see.